In a cold iron cage, in the drizzle, a skinny German shepherd curled up in the corner, its sad eyes quietly looking through the bars, as if waiting for something. Lost. In a quiet therapy room, Claire accidentally stopped in front of the image of that dog. Her eyes paused. Her heart seemed to be gripped by an unnamed pain. She handed the iPad to Jordan, a soldier who had been to war, and said, "I see this dog," as if waiting for someone. Jordan looked up, his gaze far away. Jordan stared at the photo. His eyes widened. His hand touched the scar on his shoulder. A whisper came out. "It can't be." Shadow. Memories arose. In the middle of a fierce battlefield, Jordan and Shadow rushed through bullets. A sudden explosion. Both fell in the dust. Claire gently touched Jordan's hand. "Do you want to see him again?" He nodded slowly. A decision would change everything. The wheelchair rolled silently under the afternoon sun. Claire and Jordan approached the small building with the words, "Animal Rescue Center." The soft barking of a dog echoed. Jordan tightened his grip on the handrail, his eyes wavering. Claire put her hand on his shoulder, giving him courage. In front of the door with the name Shadow, 6 years old, Jordan was silent. Claire asked softly, "Are you ready?" The space seemed to stop. In the dark corner of the room, Shadow curled up, his back to the door, tense and alert, like a lost soul. Jordan leaned forward, his eyes stern, and said, "Attention!" It was a military command, cold and decisive. Immediately, Shadow raised his head. His ears pricked up, his nose sniffed constantly. His eyes turned to Jordan, skeptical but familiar. Jordan trembled and said, "Shadow, come here." His voice broke with emotion, a call from the past. Shadow jumped up and rushed to Jordan. The wheelchair swayed. Tears streamed down as they hugged each other tightly, their feelings bursting out. Shadow snuggled into Jordan's arms, incessantly licking his face. Jordan sobbed. Claire and the rescuers stood still, choking. Claire and Jordan looked through the files. Old information appeared one by one, like pieces of a forgotten past. On the screen, Jordan and Shadow, in uniform, standing side by side, dusty, nostalgic, undeniable proof. Shadow lay unconscious on a stretcher, with his leg bandaged. A flight back to the motherland. No more missions, no managers. The system recorded the abandonment of a hero. Jordan flipped through the paper files. Temporary homes, adoption forms. A forgotten journey. Jordan stroked Shadow's back, now at peace at his feet. Claire sat beside him, smiling. The circle closed. Step by step, Jordan moved forward. Shadow did not leave, accompanying, protecting. Sweat rolled down. The pace was light. The morning wind blew past them. It was a revival. The key fell. Shadow picked it up and handed it to Jordan. This small action conveyed a big message. You are not alone. In the treatment room, laughter rang out. Shadow dozed off behind, like an old friend would. A simple meal with flickering candles was enjoyed. Under the table, Shadow rested his head on Jordan's leg. Peaceful and content. A warm blanket and soft TV light filled the room. Claire and Jordan sat close together. Shadow lay in front, making the scene feel like a family portrait. On the porch, the sound of tea pouring filled the quiet night. Shadow lay near the door, watching silently. Claire rested her head on Jordan's shoulder. He gently stroked her hair. Shadow curled up at her feet. The moment was wordless, but full of love. Without a cane or wheelchair, Jordan steps out steadily. Shadow is beside him, his companion. Claire steps out of the car, holding a file with her eyes shining. Shadow runs to greet her like family. Inside the envelope was a job offer specifically for Claire from a veterans therapy program. This was a new beginning. "I'm not your therapist anymore. Will you join me for dinner?" Claire remained silent, her eyes sparkling. No words were needed. A light step, an emotional nod. Shadow barks softly, as if in blessing. Jordan and Claire laugh. Light fills the frame, ending the journey with a smile. At the therapy center, Shadow is a role model, by Jordan's side, helping his new four-legged teammates. As a small dog approaches, Shadow lies still, wagging his tail, offering gentle guidance for a soul in need of healing. On the screen, case study, Shadow and Jordan. The story becomes a role model. The TV show them. Claire shares Jordan and Shadow practice. In front of the screen, all three watch and laugh. Jordan is now the instructor. Shadow is by his side. Claire coordinates behind the scenes. A new community where healing begins. Jordan stands. Claire is beside him. Shadow sits in front. The words appear, healing is possible. You are not alone.